I used a lot of different backpacking gear on over 1,000 miles of hiking this year. So here are my top gear picks from 2025 that I most enjoyed using and I'll continue to use throughout 2026. I'll start off with my big three. This is my Palante V2. Now, I use the Dyneema version because it's just so much stronger. It's waterproof, it's tear resistant for the most part, and it's just like, it's rugged, it's durable, it's going to last. Now, it has a tent stake pocket on the front side, the front pocket, which just makes it really easy when I get to camp. It's really easy to just get everything out really quickly. It has two front pockets on the shoulder straps, so when I'm hiking, I can just grab stuff out really easily, along with a bottom pocket that I can keep all of my snacks in. Like right now, I still have some left over from my last trip. But generally what I'll do is just stuff all of my food from an entire day's worth of hiking into the bottom pocket and just grab stuff out as I'm walking, and it makes it so convenient. And one of my favorite parts about this pack is that it's so easy to grab water bottles out from the side pockets without having to take the pack off or take a strap off and grab one out. Just really convenient. It helps me stay hydrated, and it just makes hiking so much more enjoyable. Okay. My Enlightened Equipment Enigma quilt. This thing, I love this. I actually have a 10-degree quilt and a 30-degree quilt. This is my 30-degree, but my 10-degree works just as well. It's just for colder temperatures. I like the Enigma quilt partly because it's down fabric, but also because it has the sewn-in foot box, so it's really versatile. I can use it at camp to throw over myself so I can stay warm when it's just really freezing and the wind's blowing. But whenever I get into bed, it still acts like a blanket, but it still insulates me well enough where I can fall asleep and not have to worry about all of the wind coming in and like the drafts and everything. Like the things that people usually complain about with quilts, I don't have a problem with this one. I would say the strongest suit of this quilt is just its versatility. You can use it at camp whenever you're about to go to bed, but you're just like kind of chilly, you want to hang out for a little bit, you can just throw it over top of yourself. When you do get into bed, it has the sewn-in foot box so your feet won't freeze, and it's really good with drafts because it has two straps on the bottom that you can strap down to your sleeping pad, and that just makes it to where like wind's not going to blow up underneath of it whenever you're trying to fall asleep. This is the Outdoor Vitals 1/8 inch foam pad, which I know a lot of people hate these, but trust me, you don't have to only sleep on a 1/8 inch pad to love them. In the winter seasons, I use an inflatable pad, but I still use this thing to throw underneath of it. It just kind of helps to protect the inflatable pad from getting a puncture in it from a thorn or a rock or something like that. But also, it's just like the quilt. You can use this at camp just to kind of sit your butt on and not get soaked from the ground, and it's really good for that. You can also flame a fire with it, so you're not trying to sit down there, with your face in the fire and the heat and trying to get the thing going. You can just use this, just kind of start flapping it, get some oxygen on that fire. It works great. Okay, so for my shelter, I actually used a tarp this year, and I loved it. I used this Z-Packs. It's a 7-foot by 9-foot tarp. It weighs like 5 ounces. It's super strong. It's waterproof. It's been through heavy winds, heavy rain, heavy snow even. Like, it's been through the mills, and it has come out on top. It packs down tiny. I mean, you can see how small this is. This is my hand, for reference, on the tarp. Like, it just doesn't get any smaller than that. It's the lightest shelter you're gonna find. And if you pair it with something like my next choice, my Hyperlight Bug Bivy, which I don't even know how much this is. This is maybe like 3-4 ounces. It's great. You can use it in the summertime to protect yourself from bugs. Has a built-in bathtub. It has little tie-out points, so you can kind of tie the net up to your shelter, like your tarp, to kind of keep the net off your face. It cuts down on wind, which is a big bonus in the wintertime if you are using this in the wintertime. As far as a bug bivy goes, there are cheaper ones out there, but Hyperlight Bug Bivy, it just does the trick for me. Okay, so moving on to electronics. This is a piece of gear that I never thought I would end up using, but I've actually ended up loving over the past few months, thanks to one of my trail hiking buddies. His name was Chef. I was hiking with him for a few weeks. This is the FlexTail Zero Pump, I believe. It weighs like 1.2 ounces. You use it whenever you get to camp. If you have an air mattress, you just hook it onto the air mattress and then just click the button. I don't know if you can hear it. And it basically just inflates your mattress. It's great. you know, like I said, it's so convenient. You get to camp, you set your tent up or your tarp up. Maybe you want to go hang your bear bag up, or you need to get your food out. It's like you're trying to get your camp essentials done. Your camp duties need to be done. All you have to do is hook this up to your sleeping pad, start blowing it up, and within about 2 minutes, maybe even less than that, your sleeping pad will be inflated, and you don't have to run out of air trying to do it. Oh, and if you're worried about the battery, I don't think I've ever recharged this thing. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't, because I've only taken this on a handful of trips so far, but I've probably used it about 10 times and it's still going strong. So if you're worried about the battery, don't. Another plus is you can fit it on pretty much any backpacking mattress because it comes with a handful of different attachments. These are just little rubber pieces you can hook onto it. And I use it with my Thermarest pad, but I think you could use it with just about any pad you have. All right, my next electronic is my Nightcore NU25 headlamp. This thing, it's so lightweight. I've used it for running, hiking, anytime I need a flashlight. I've used it to change out the tires on my car, to rotate them. Like, this thing is just so multi-use. It's so light that I've hiked with it for like half the day before realizing that I didn't take it off, which is definitely a huge plus from other headlamps like the Black Diamond, which I feel like when I put on my head, like, it's nice, it's bright, but it's so heavy and it's kind of irritating to have on. So the Nightcore one, super lightweight, it's comfortable, you'll forget it's there. Definitely my top choice for a headlamp for backpacking. It recharges quickly. It takes USB-C now, which is a huge plus. So they're pretty cheap. They're like $30, something like that. I would recommend two, but one will do the trick for sure. Now, a bonus of this is that it actually does have the red light on it. So you don't have to blind your friends when you're at camp. I can look into it and be just fine, but I've also used it at camp to see anything that I need to see. It's plenty bright enough. I don't know if you can see for reference, like, it has several different light modes and it actually has different colors. So you can get some of like the more luminescent, like the wider lights, or the more like yellow lights. I don't know what the names for all these are. Anyways, yeah, top choice for headlamp. I will continue to use that for as long as it lasts. All right, this is my Anchor charging brick. It's a 50-watt charger. It has two USB-C ports on it, I guess. It folds out. You can kind of break it down, put it in your bag. It won't tear through anything. But if you're a thru hiker or a section hiker, it's pretty lightweight. It weighs maybe like 6 ounces, something like that. And it's quick charging, so you can get into town, charge everything up, get back out, and you don't have to sit there acting like a bum for too long. I mean, you're still gonna act like a bum, just not for 5 hours. Okay, my next gear pick is actually on me right now. It's my Garmin Fenix 8. I use this thing for just about everything. I use it mainly for hiking, to see how many miles I've gone. I can track maps on it, see how well I slept the night before. It has a built-in flashlight even. At night, I can kind of see my way around camp, and that makes it really nice. I can see how I'm recovering. I can see how many hours I should take to recover, even if I don't always do that. If you're a runner, it's great for that. You can track your VO2 max, which is basically a number that indicates so many different things, but it boils down to basically how efficient your lungs and heart are at utilizing the oxygen that you're breathing in, and delivering it to the muscles. Your VO2 max is also an indicator of how long you're gonna live, which some people speculate how accurate that is. You know, I love it. It works great. It is so rugged. This thing has ran into like so many tree branches, and I've dropped it. I've hit it against stone. It's still going strong. And it has a battery life of like 20 days, which whenever you're tracking your GPS with it, that's gonna bump it down quite a bit to like 4 or 5 days for me. But it's solar powered, so if you're in the direct sunlight, it'll boost that battery life back up a little bit. So all around, it's a great watch. It's expensive, but I love it, and I'm not gonna stop using it anytime soon. Okay, so for an honorable mention, this is my Garmin InReach Mini 2, I think. This thing is just like a peace of mind. Basically, you carry it with you, you forget it's there, but whenever you need it, it'll still have battery, because this battery lasts a lifetime, I swear. Like, I'll recharge it before every trip, but it'll come down to like 95% at the end of the trip. So battery lasts a long time. It has an SOS feature on it, so if you get into some serious trouble, as long as you're like willing to have a helicopter come out and rescue you, that's probably what's gonna happen. But it's not just that. You can also send messages to your family. You can check the weather on it. You can use it for maps if you'd like to. And the thing's just, it's a brick. brick. It's not going to break. It's scratched up quite a bit, but besides that, I love it. And my family loves it too, because they know if something does happen, I will be able to reach out to somebody. It's really just a peace of mind thing. Okay, moving on from electronics, this is what I use to eat. My thru-hikes titanium long handle spoon. I love this thing mainly because it is so easy to clean. It's not like a plastic spoon where it's really grainy and it's hard to get in there and get the grime out. This, you just take a warm, wet towel and just scrub it a little bit and it's clean. Works great. Especially because if you have like a bag of food, you can get down in there and not have to get your hands dirty or your fingers dirty, or get your dirty fingers in your food, which is sort of a problem when you're trying to stay clean, free of infection or disease. So I would definitely recommend one of these, and you can just keep it in the back of your backpack. Use it to eat chips if you want to. It works great. All right, this is a tent stake. It's not my primary tent stake, but it is one made by Z-Packs. It is, I believe, the 6.4 inch carbon tent stake. This thing weighs 6.2 grams. I swear, it is so lightweight. You could have 4 of these, which I do, and never know it. It'll be just in your bag. You can use it if you're like me and you have a bug bivvy, you can use it to stake down the bug bivvy. Sometimes I'll use it for the corners of my tarp or even for the corners of my tent. So if you're in an area that's not super windy and the ground's not like super hard, you don't have to, hammer it into the ground with a rock or something, I would definitely recommend these. So lightweight, and they're pretty tough. I've actually beat on this thing with a rock a few times and I don't see any scratches or dents or any bends or anything. So it's tough for how much it weighs too, but I'm not really willing to put it to the test because I love these things. And if you want to hammer something into the ground, I would recommend something a little more heavy duty, like a MSR groundhog or something like that. Okay, this is my flip fuel. I don't use this on every backpacking trip because it's really more of like a thru-hiker thing, but I do use it before most backpacking trips to fill up my isobutane canister, and that's what it's for. Basically, you just take your empty canister and you put it on the bottom. So you'd put it like that, you'd screw this on, and then your full canister, you put it on the top, and then you just open up the valve and it will fill up your empty canister. So it's very convenient. All you have to do is cool down your empty canister and heat up your full canister, and it'll take maybe like 5 minutes. What I'll do is take a pot of warm water and put my full canister in that, and then stick my empty canister in the freezer for a couple minutes, and then just take everything out, hook it all up, open up the valve, and you'll be good to go. And you'll save a lot of money over the years by using this instead of just getting a new canister every time you think you're about out, because usually what happens is you still have a little bit left and then you're paying for a new canister anyways. So it's just a lot more efficient to just buy this once and save the money over the long run. Okay, this next piece of gear is a little bit nifty and you're probably not expecting it, but it is a pair of just really small fingernail clippers. I don't know why. These things are just so convenient to have in my bag. They weigh maybe like an ounce, maybe like 2 ounces, and you forget they're there until you need them. Because usually, if you're through hiking, section hiking, or maybe you just forgot to do your hygiene before you left for your weekend backpacking trip, they're so nice to have whenever you need them. And if you don't carry a knife, you can sometimes use them to kind of cut open whatever you're trying to cut. So they are somewhat multi-use, but I would recommend carrying them anyways. And on the note of taking care of fingernails and feet, these are my Injinji sock liners. Now, these things are so good for preventing blisters. I didn't used to use them until I was introduced to them on my thru hike, and they just completely changed the way I prevent blisters. Now, granted, I do still have to focus on preventing blisters when I'm not using these or when I am using these, but they make it so much easier. And I just made a video about how to prevent blisters, so you might want to check that out. Okay, my next gear pick is something that I don't use very often, but whenever I need it, it's really nice to have, and that is my mini Bic lighter. Now, a way to start a fire or some source of heat is pretty much essential for any backpacker or really any hiker. That's why having a Bic lighter is so useful to me, because I don't have to worry about if it's going to get wet. I try to keep it in a Ziploc baggie, but I know it can get wet and still work, which is nice. And I don't have to worry about if it's actually going to wick the fuel, because it always does, like every single time. I've been using this for like a year now and I still haven't had to get a new one. They're dirt cheap and I think they work so much better than Zippos. Plus they're lighter, so that's a small bonus. The one thing is you might want to have a fire starter, like maybe some cotton balls or tumbleweed or something like that. Otherwise it's kind of annoying trying to sit there and hold the lighter up to your kindling the whole time. time. So I'd definitely recommend bringing some really lightweight fire starters with you. Okay, my next favorite piece of gear from 2025 was the Ultrapod Mini 3, I believe it's called. It's basically just a little tripod that you can set your phone up on, or you can set a camera up on it. But I use this mostly for getting pictures of myself on my thru hike or backpacking trips. You can set it up basically on like a rock or something. Like I usually set it up just like that. And the little attachment it comes with to put your phone in has a couple different spots where you can screw this screw into. So if you want to shoot in portrait, you can just kind of change out where you attach it, and it works pretty good like that as well. So you can kind of set your phone up in here and do something kind of like that, and it works good. Especially good if you don't have someone there to take a picture or a video of you, which I'm usually hiking solo. So it's really nice. Okay, for you knife lovers out there, I use a Benchmade, let me see if I can get this right, 945-2 Mini Osborne. This is what it looks like. It's very small, lightweight, easy to open. I haven't even had to sharpen this thing yet, and I've been using it for a year. It works so well. I'm not going to say it's my favorite knife because I have a couple other knives that have more like sentimental value to me. But as far as functionality goes, you can beat this thing, you can scrape it, you can dull the blade, you can try to dull the blade, but it's just going to work so well. And you're going to have to oil it every once in a while because it's a folding knife. But other than that, it's very good for backpacking. It's lightweight. Just keep it in your pocket. Have it when you need it. Don't use it when you don't need it. Okay, this is a buff. It is something that I've been using for about 2 years now. It's made from merino wool. Basically, I just throw it over top of my head, and it keeps me really warm, especially when I'm tarp camping, because I can throw it over top of my face, and you breathe in like some warmer air at night. It's really good for falling asleep. You can do some different stuff with it. Like when I'm hiking, if it's really windy, I will pull it up over top of my head and then put like a beanie on top, and it will kind of help keep my face a little warmer, even though it's not actually covering up my face. So it's very comfortable, and I love having it. I usually only take it in the wintertime because that's really only when you need it. But when I do have it and I do need it, I really enjoy using it. Okay, this is a piece of gear that actually just came out. It is the Atotech Bear Bag, and this is sort of like the new Ursack. At least that's the way I see it. It is grizzly bear proof, at least this one is, and it's been certified by the Interagency Grizzly Bear Committee. So I mean, that makes me feel better about it. I've never used a bear bag until this. The reason I picked this one out was it's sort of shaped like a backpack is. So you can slide it up right against your back, inside of your backpack, and it makes it feel a little more like uniform with your back, which I like. I've never used an Ursack before, but I would assume since this one's a little bit wider, and like I said, it packs down more like a backpack instead of just like a big tube. I think this will continue to be my preferred method of hanging food. I never really liked throwing the rock over a tree branch and tying it up, I think it's the PCT method. I never enjoyed that, especially when it's nighttime. You're trying to just get to camp, get everything set up, and I don't want to go looking for a rock that I can throw over. This just gives me so much peace of mind. I never sleep with my food, so when I'm falling asleep, I know I can just have everything in here, tie it to a tree, and I sleep better knowing that my food is secure. One gripe I have about this bag is actually the straps on it. I wish they were a little tougher. It's not that they're ripping or anything. I just feel like they will rip eventually. Now, I've used this for probably over like 70, 80 nights at this point, so it's not a huge problem, but I do wish they were a little thicker and easier to tie, but it's not a huge problem. And on the note of food bags, I use this in conjunction with my bear bag. It is basically just an odor-proof sack. It's a plastic bag that I stuff all of my wrappers into because basically like chicken wrappers, candy bar wrappers, any food wrappers in general tend to smell quite a bit. So I put them in an odor-proof sack and stick that inside of my bear bag. And it not only makes my food bag smell better, but I feel safer knowing that animals aren't going to smell my food or my wrappers quite as easily. Okay, my next favorite piece of gear is this, and not the filter, just the platypus bag. Now, platypus water bags come in two different sizes. There is a 2 liter and a 1 liter. This is the 1 liter. And the reason I like this one so much is because of the opening on it and the handle on it. It makes it really easy to just scoop down in, get some water, and makes the day so much easier. Makes filtering water so much easier. I've really enjoyed using this, and I will continue to use it. Even though it's just 1 liter, it works great. And because it has a bigger opening on it, I can actually feed more water through the filter at one time. So it's basically just a quicker flow rate. And anyone who's filtered water before knows that a quicker flow rate is to be enjoyed. Okay, this is my Senshi Alpha 90 hoodie. I believe that's what it's called. This thing weighs like 4 ounces. If you don't have one of these, I definitely recommend investing in one. They sell out quite a bit, but I think just having it is so nice. It's so enjoyable. And it doesn't have to be a Senshi Designs hoodie either. This was the big hype when I bought it. I used it pretty much all year, and I loved it. I mainly used it for just like an extra layer at camp. But there were some mornings I would use it because I'd be hiking and I just wasn't staying quite warm enough. So I would throw this on and I would hike with it for about half the day. Like I could sweat in it and it would dry out really quickly. That's something that you don't find in a lot of active insulation layers, which is a big plus with this. And it packs down pretty small. I mean, I can fit the whole thing like in my hand. So I don't know if that tells you anything. But yeah, I hike in it sometimes half the day, sometimes the whole day, but I've never regretted having it. And I just kind of forget that it's in my bag until I need it. All right, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen me wearing this hat. This is a Scala hat. It's wool, so it's kind of warm, but ironically enough, I primarily wear it in the summertime because it's good for just blocking the sun from all sides. And I also use it for when it's raining because it's nice to not have rain hit me in the eyes and, you know, roll down my face the entire time. And when I'm not wearing it, I'll just strap it to the back of my bag, and that just kind of lets some of the heat escape off my head. But if I'm ever cold or I just want some protection from the rain or the sun, this hat does the trick. And for my final favorite gear choice of the year, this is the light load towel. I got this at Trail Days this year, and I didn't know these were a thing until I got one. I thought it was kind of a piece of junk when I first saw it, and it stayed like that for probably a month or so until I started actually using it. And I had a hard time figuring out what to use it for until I learned that you can use them to clean out your cooking pot. And what I will do is just stuff it inside of my cooking pot, all around my isobutane, all around my stove, and then just cram it in there, put my lid on, pull up the sides of my pot, and just pull everything tight. I mean, you can hear it shaking a little bit, but it's not bad at all. And it's really great for cleaning out your pot when you're done eating. And I know you've probably heard somebody say this before. This genuinely weighs almost nothing. Like, if I hold both hands up in the air, one with the towel and one without, I can't tell. Obviously, I know this one does weigh something, but I don't know how much it weighs. Next to nothing. So it's tiny, weighs practically nothing, and you're not going to regret carrying it with you. In fact, I wish I actually had like 2 or 3 more of these, because when I carry a tent and I wake up in the morning and there's condensation everywhere, I wish I had an extra one of these, which I guess I do technically have an extra one. I just haven't opened it up yet. Yeah, very nice to have. All right, I think that's everything. I have nothing left. Those are my top gear picks from 2025, and there's a lot of gear I used. There's a lot of gear I have just started using, but I haven't actually been able to like really put to the test yet. But all of this gear, I used it, I abused it, and I loved it. And I will keep using it for as long as I can until it either breaks or they just stop making it. So yeah, I would fully recommend this gear, and I hope you guys are able to find some of these things if you don't already have them. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you stuck around to the very end, congratulations, you're a little bit dumber now, and happy hiking.